Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today is a very important day. We have our very strong partner, Monash University from Australia, with us. And they are the eminent scientists from the bioscience domain, Dr. Chris Thompson, Professor and Director of Education, Biomedicine Discovery Institute, Monash University, Dr. Peter Borg, Associate Professor, Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Monash University, and Ms. Nimika Sharma, in-country representative, India, Monash University. May we have a round of applause for them, please. And we are joined by our Group Vice Chancellor, sir, Dr. Gurinder Singh, sir, who's leading all the international engagements for the Amity Group, and who I would request to please come on the stage, come on the dais, and to kindly give his a welcome address, and followed by the masterclass. May we have a round of applause for sir as well. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Some days bring a lot of energy, enthusiasm with you. Can I ask you what is most important in life? What is most important in life? Memories. Very good. Who said that? Raise hand. Khada ho ja. Huge applause for him. Very good. Memories. Which course you are doing? Wow. Right. Very good boy. Anyone else? Memories are most important, he says. Good. Anyone else? Who says that? Happiness. Very good. Just stand up. All of you will get a prize. Very good. Which course you are doing? Biotech students are very smart. Very good. Very good. Anyone else? Peace. ये तो बहुत ही कमाल की लड़की है. Just stand up. Yeah. Peace, happiness, memories. Right. So three very important words you have given. So I will start with these three words to welcome our friends from University of Monash, which is very close to our heart. First of all, memories. We have got very good memories with the University of Monash. Professor Thompson, Professor Borg, Ms. Sharma. I have got a chance to visit Monash number of times. Their Vice Chancellor, that's my friend Dr. Pickering. He's the Vice Chancellor and President. We met 4 years back, and we signed a historical agreement between your university and our university, and we became friends for life. So memories are most important, but at the same time, happiness and peace is also very, very important. So three things. मेरे को तो लगता है that you three are more intelligent than the group vice chancellor. Right. Very happy that the students, they really spoke so well about it. But Professor Thompson and Professor Borg and Ms. Sharma, when we signed this agreement, we never knew that our partnership is going to be so huge. So we started discussing that how we can be more relevant to the students of biotechnology, how we should be relevant to the students of psychology, how we should be relevant to the students of engineering, how we should be relevant to the students of management domain. And we started creating history with our good memories. And I can see very large number of our very senior professors and senior people. Very warm welcome to all of you also. So we created a program called under the New Colombo Plan, that your students, they should be part of Indian ecosystem. Because Australians, they need to understand India, and Indian students and Indian faculty members need to understand Australia. So we created this program, which is known as New Colombo Plan. And on the New Colombo Plan, first time, the history was created. So what you said, memory, peace, and happiness. When it is there in life, then the fourth thing comes up, which is known as progress. So with these three pillars, we progressed. And the progress was that we created a history. First time in the history of India, 300 students. From which university? Monash University came to India and they studied at MIT. So give a huge applause to Monash. And they were here And under the leadership of our founder, who's watching you live, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, and our chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and many senior people who are sitting, and myself as a group vice chancellor, we got the privilege of hosting you for the first time. And these students were so happy that 11 of them, then they wanted to do a full semester with us. And they did a full semester with us. Then we thought that let's take it at the other level. So we created, that's your Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Greg. So, and that is your university, our university, because we are partners. So we did a very huge and big conference. And this was supported by Springer. This was supported by Taylor and Francis. And by the way, this was also supported by the Victorian government. And we got an opportunity of inviting your education minister to be in this conference. So why I'm telling you this? Because all of you as students and faculty members, they were able to organize it. So for the first time, Indian university, along with the Australian partner, organized the largest international research conference, the publications of which were Scopus indexed, which will give you large number of citations, which will improve your HSH index. This was convened this time in Melbourne. With whom? With Monash. So give another applause to them. And this was such a powerful conference that people from across the globe, they came and they became a part of our ecosystem. So we wanted that how AI is going to influence biotechnology, how AI is going to influence psychology, how AI is going to create waves. And this was, I think, 4 years back, 3.5 years back, we did this conference. And this was such a conference which created a patent. And a patent was that we were able to create a band, right? Which was linked to your iPhone, whichever phone you are having, even Android will do, right? So Android or iPhone, whichever you have. But we were able to do that if someone is having a depression or is having a depressive behavior, then how you can detect that depressive behavior. And it was such a magnificent conference where we thought that data is very, very important. So let's say that someone is feeling lonely. So the watch or the band which you are wearing, it is going to give you a sensor. It was basically sensor-based technology. It is going to make the person who's close to you, that a person is feeling lonely or he's having this problem, and your body is becoming slower. So the app is going to suggest answer. Stand up, go play football, yeah, or go for jogging. And we, believe me, that the problem in Australia was data, which I spoke to you. And there's ample number of, the data is never an issue in India. So we shared the data, and AI, biotechnologists, psychiatrists, and psychologists, they sat together. And this was a wonderful conference we had. So that is the research outcome of our conference. We did 3 conferences with Monash. 7 of our students, they got a permanent job in university in Melbourne because they went on a study abroad program. We used to do a study abroad program. We want to restart. After this, we'll have a discussion with you. And the study abroad program was that for 5 weeks, students got an opportunity to go to Monash. And I think hundreds of our students, they have been a part of your ecosystem, where they have done 5 weeks long program. So Ms. Sharma, you need to restart it. And we used to work, for example, the student from biotechnology or management, engineering, psychology, they will identify the problem and they will start working along with some of the faculty members. So 7 of our students, they got a job in Melbourne because of the wonderful work and the projects they did with your students and with your faculty. We also do dual degree programs and training programs. Now, what are the dual degree programs? That if you are a biotechnology student, or you're a psychology student, or you're a management student, or you're an engineering student, you can do 2 years in India, and then you can do 2 years at Monash. Now, this saves about 60% of your cost. And there are a number of scholarships which the Monash is offering. So I think that there are scholarships they are offering, and quite a few of our students, they have already received these scholarships. I think that 7 of our students got fully funded. They were in Melbourne, airfare paid by the Australian universities, and they had a very good time this summer. But what I'm requesting all of you is that please go and see what are the research opportunities which are available between both the universities. There are a number of projects which you can do, study abroad program, which we used to do 5 weeks long program, New Colombo grant. I think that we would like to write again a proposal to the government of Australia, especially Victorian government, and also we'll take some help of DST. And here, Professor Biswas and other very distinguished professors who are here. And let's try to restart that what we can do together. Also, in case you are interested for your PhD program, especially in the area of biotechnology, I'm very cautious that 2 of our very distinguished colleagues, they are from the biotechnology area. You can send your proposals. We would like to sit and see that what we can do together. But very happy to welcome Professor Thompson and Professor Bog and our own Ms. Nimika Sharma, who is based in Noida. For the benefit of all, we are doing another project with Australian universities, and we want Monash also to be a part of it. Those who know that we work very closely with the government of Uttar Pradesh, though we work with the central government also very closely. But since we are in Noida, we also work very, very closely with the government of Uttar Pradesh. And one of the very prominent problem which Noida is facing, I don't know how many of you are from Noida who live in Noida. Raise hands. Okay, good. So quite a few of you, you know the problems of Noida. And being a very responsible university, we are trying to solve the problem of Noida. And one of the problem is open drainage system. Noida is a city of future. As per the estimates, it is going to have a valuation 4 times higher than what it is enjoying today in the next 3 years. So no other city in India will be progressing that much like Noida is doing. New world-class airport has come up. Every day, government is announcing today also in the newspapers, at least 10 schemes are there. And one of them is opening up the biomedical sector and pharmaceutical industry, which is coming as a cluster near the airport. But what government is trying to do is that they are trying to understand that why the cancer is increasing in Noida. So one of our PhD students and one of our management students who is specializing in AI, they concluded that it is because of the industry waste and the open drainage system and the fumes which are coming out of them. So there's a park which is known as Biodiversity Park. Those who are in Noida, they may be knowing it's a 400 acres park, about which I think that some of our environment scientists have contributed quite a lot. I know personally that every day they were writing proposals. But this is a beautiful park. If you get some time, you must go there and see that what MIT has contributed. But at the same time, we are also working on this project that how we can segregate and how we can find a solution to this problem. The Chief Minister is very happy. He wants that this project should be done. And we know that Australian universities and scientists, they have done a lot of work in this direction. So 1st September, we are taking first step, small step, right? By coming up with the first solution that how we can address environmental issues, sustainability issues, and how we can reduce the cancer patients. And we'll also be having plantation of 200 plants. We are absorbing one of the villages where we will also be giving employment. So we are identifying the trees, which if we will plant, can give permanent income to the villagers also. So a lot of things we are trying to do with the Australian universities, but on behalf of our founder, Dr. Chauhan, our chancellor, on my own behalf, we have got 13 vice chancellors. It's one of the largest education group of the world today. In India, we are largest, 250,000 students, 16 campuses abroad, large number of patents. On behalf of everyone, very senior colleagues who are sitting here, very warm welcome to you. Over to you. We'd like to listen more from you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inputs and insights. Maybe have a round of applause for sir as well. Now I would request our delegation for the masterclass presentation. Right. Thanks, everyone coming to see 2 Australians coming from Monash to a really impressive looking campus. First time here at Amity. Yeah, both Chris and I have commented, yeah, really spectacular looking campus and really engaged, vibrant community as well. So it's a real pleasure to be here. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about bioinformatics and its role in understanding where science is going, particularly in the kind of biological context. So just a quick outline of the talk. I'll introduce kind of why bioinformatics is important and provide some examples of what bioinformatics can do to directly provide information that can be used in the development of therapies, understanding of biological processes for a really diverse range of problems. And then we'll look quickly about what the job prospects are for graduates in bioinformatics. And then I'll touch very quickly on what the Biomedical Discovery Institute at Monash is, and then Chris will follow up with some more information on that as well. So I'm an experimental scientist by training. So that means I'm in the lab doing experiments. But nowadays, science has moved beyond single person research. We're doing much more complex research here. I always say easy science is done. We're in a really complex, difficult, where you need to take people from different disciplines, collaborating together to use their individual skills to build pictures that are much more significant and can really drive outcomes. So a lot of this has been based on changes in technology. So up on the top of the screen there, you can kind of see the evolution of technology that's involved in sequencing DNA. When the human genome was first sequenced, it took about 13 years to do it. Nowadays, it can be sequenced in a couple of days. It went from being $13 billion US to less than $1,000 US for a genome. So that means researchers can use that technology in their labs to ask bigger questions, have bigger data sets, but that becomes a problem as well. And so it's not just nucleic acid-based questions you're asking, also looking at proteins. So the mass spectrometry for looking at proteins has completely changed over the last 10 years in particular, to the point now that we can do single cell proteomics. That's a really new frontier. And so with that, you're generating a lot more data. What these 3 graphs here show the growth in the amount of data being deposited in protein, gene expression, and genome databases. So just for context, they're log scales on the left-hand side. So it looks fairly linear, but actually they're logarithmic scales. So there's a massive increase in the amount of data that's being generated. And that provides a challenge. One person can't generate the data and analyze it. You need people who have specialist skills and the resources behind them to be able to analyze that technology. So this is the problem. There's an analysis gap. Kind of people that have got the traditional skills are fairly stable in kind of trajectory in which they're developing capacity, but the sequencing technology changes allow exponential growth in information, but we haven't grown the capacity to analyze it. And so being able to close that gap can work in discovery-based research, so finding out new biological principles, can work in the clinical case where you can look at genomes of patients and try to identify variants in the genome that might lead to a particular disease, and also be in the biotech sector where they can do therapeutics or biomarkers or a range of other activities. But one thing I kind of want to point out, though, is bioinformatics should be a collaboration with wet scientists or experimental scientists. We don't work in isolation. We've got to work together, understand each other's languages, and then build kind of questions and ways to analyze them together. First, I want to give 3 examples of what type of science bioinformatics can be applied to. This is all 3 examples are from Monash. So one of the examples is in David Good's lab at Monash. He works on prostate cancer, which is the second most prominent cancer in the world. And there are some therapeutics, but in many cases, after 5 or 10 years, the cancer cells become resistant to it. And people don't know why there is resistance to those treatments. So he wanted to ask a very simple question: is the cancer cells, is it their biology that drives this resistance, or is there something about the therapeutic interventions that's actually driving this resistance? So he did a very simple experiment, which is where you take a cancer cell from a patient and you then put that into a mouse model. That's called a xenograft. So you take the patient and cancer, take it out, inject it into a mouse in a known location, and then you can treat that mouse with
therapeutics that would normally go into a human patient. And you can look at how that tumor changes and evolves over the coming weeks or months, and then do RNA sequencing to look at how does that tumor, or how does those cells evolve to escape that particular therapeutic treatment. So these next fairly slides are fairly complex, but again, it's the big picture here we're looking at, not the kind of detail. So using what's called bulk RNA-seq, which is when you kind of get your tumor cell, you take it from the mouse, you grind it up, you extract the RNA, and then you sequence the RNA. You can get a profile of what genes are being expressed. And so you can see there on the graph on your right that there are certain clusters. So there are certain groups of cells that have particular characteristics to it. In this case, it's looking at the antigen receptor and a neuroendocrine marker. You can see there's 4 distinct groups. So you can tell this cancer is evolving in different ways, in different, depending on where those cancer was derived from in the patient. Again, this is a horribly looking complex picture. But again, it's just to say you can cluster a lot of information that's taken from the biological context. And part of the role of bioinformatician is to build infographics kind of like this to be able to identify that there are certain themes that evolve. So what this heat map on the right kind of shows you, there are 4 distinct clusters, and they derive more from the biology of the cancer cell than the therapeutic. Up the top there in the different colors, they just represent different treatments, different clinical treatments that have been applied to the mouse system. And that no matter what treatment you get, it's not really changing the outcome. It's more about the biology of the tumor. So that's where that heterogeneity in those tumor cells is what derives that evolution away from being able to be treated effectively by the therapeutic that's been applied. So another example looks at the microbiome. So does everyone know what the microbiome is? It's kind of basically, it's everything that either grows in you or on you. You have a microbiome in your lung, you have a microbiome in your ear, you have a microbiome in your intestine, in your stomach. And it's become very clear that the microbiome is a really big component of how human health evolves. Humans have evolved always with the bacteria that live on and in us. So it's naturally that our body has developed ways to sense what's going on. And bacteria feeds us and we feed the bacteria. And so there's growing evidence across a whole range of diseases, cancer, to, in this case, blood pressure, that the microbiome has a really major effect on how the body responds. So the idea here is that in your intestine, we have all these bacteria that exist there quite normally, and then they release certain compounds like short-chain fatty acids that can go into our bloodstream, and they can have been shown to be able to decrease the blood pressure in certain patients. So the question here was, well, how does this actually work? So having a diet rich in fiber helps maintain your microbiome in a healthy way. Then the gut microbiome then produce short-chain fatty acids in the intestine. Our bodies absorb that, and then that communicates information to our body, and the body responds to it and reduces the blood pressure. So this is just some data here to showing that the blood pressure is changed positively in the treatment compared to the placebo, the control. And so that kind of links the short-chain fatty acids and the blood pressure. So I should say, yeah, the change just from the microbiome perspective is fairly similar to what you get by taking a pharmaceutical drug into your body. So again, it's a really powerful way of changing how your body is responding to blood pressure. So this is an example here that not everyone does the same thing. Why are some people having high blood pressure, some people having low blood pressure, and not responding, not doing the same change, even though they might be getting the same medication? So the graph on the right, lots of names up there, but they're all names of different bacteria that are living in your intestine. So people would do microbiome sequencing, so they'd get a sample of the bacteria that live in your gut, DNA sequence to get markers to identify what bacteria are there, and then using bioinformatics can work out exactly what bacteria are there and in what combinations, what relative levels. And so it's very clear that the changes in the microbiome drive changes in human health. So this the group here wanted to move beyond the microbiome. They wanted to start to see, okay, well, how does the human interact with this? So the metabolites that the bacteria are producing are absorbed by particular receptors in our intestines. So the key ones here are TRP41 and 43. And so we know that they're the key receptors, but what happens when you don't have a functional receptor? How does that mean you respond to the microbiome? So you might have a perfectly normal, happy microbiome, but if your receptors aren't functioning normally, what does that mean? And so what they did was they looked at publicly available data to look at certain genomic signatures to see if there's any certain codes within a genome that actually will lead some people to be resistant to the microbiome support of your blood pressure. So I've just highlighted there the box, just to kind of show you the scale at which bioinformaticians will work at. This data set is 270,000 people. So we're talking really big data sets here that bioinformaticians have to sift through, apply various algorithms, apply various statistical programs to work out, looking for very small changes and are they statistically enriched and correlate with particular outcomes. So here's just another example. And again, here you've got a data set of nearly 400,000 people. This is the information derived from the UK biobar system. And there you have the health records available as well of all the people. So you can look at their genomic sequence, and then you've got their health records, and you can do all these correlated studies to see which, if there are any genetic codes that segregate with particular things. And that could be anything from cancer to psychological conditions, metabolic conditions. So that's the beauty of genomics. You can look at large data sets and apply what's known about those patients and draw kind of meaningful conclusions that can then also be experimentally tested. So this is just changing away from genomics and more into kind of proteomics, which is some work from my lab. We're interested in about how proteins form complexes together and how those machines kind of do particular biological jobs. So we use a proximity labeling approach, which means you can identify proteins that are in close proximity to each other in the cell. So then we use mass spectrometry to identify those proteins and identify those proteins that are statistically changed between various conditions. And so the graph there in the middle is a volcano plot. You can see on the right-hand side, they're the proteins that are enriched in a particular kind of condition that we're interested in. And so again, bioinformaticians play a key role in mapping that data and also comparing it to other data sets to draw interesting conclusions. What we can see from this experiment is that we get proteins that all kind of come together to form a what's called a deadenylase complex. It's something that shortens the poly-A tail on mRNAs. That gives us kind of quick insight as to what this protein was interacting with. It's not something that we had known previously. So what we wanted to do was to go beyond generating a list of proteins that interact together, but to apply kind of protein modeling. So using AlphaFold, which is a technology, an AI technology that can predict the three-dimensional structure of an individual protein, but also the individual structure of protein-protein interaction. So protein A and protein B, are they likely to interact? So we have something like 8,000 potential combinations. And so using the AI tool, we can go through and identify proteins that are most likely to interact together. And importantly, not just say that protein A and protein B interact, but also say exactly where on the proteins do they interact. Which amino acids are actually drive that interaction. And then we can go and test that in the laboratory and mutate those amino acids to see how that changes that interaction, and then look how that impacts the biological process that we're interested in. So again, bioinformatics plays a key role in applying various filters to refine the data set. So you can see here, we've got what's called a DocQ score. And then we can, that had about 1,500 protein pairs that we could identify. And then by providing another filter, we can kind of trim that down to a more high confidence list. And again, this is the role of bioinformaticians to work with biologists to work out where the threshold would be for where the important information is. So AlphaFold 2, which is an open AI tool for available, really great at being able to develop hypotheses. But with any technology, it's not perfect. There are inherent biases in a data set, because the data set it was trained on has biases in it. So again, that's part of the bioinformatician's job, is to identify those biases, apply critical thinking, and look at the data and suggest the kind of what is doesn't quite fit what the expectation would be, and then try and work out why that might be the case as well. So I just want to quickly tell you a little bit about the Masters in Bioinformatics that we have going at Monash at the moment. And so it's probably a bit hard for you guys to see on the screen here. I'll quickly run through it. So up here. So students coming in their first year have an elective. If they come in with no coding skills, they do a unit on Python. If they come in with coding skills but have no biology, they do a cell biology unit. And then they also do a unit in biostatistics, and then they do a unit on AI-used protein analysis. So it's looking at mass spectrometry data and how we apply AI tools to analyze that information, and also go on to look at protein design and evolution. So this is a new technology where we can build proteins that have never existed before. We can use programs to make a protein shape that we want to perhaps be an inhibitor of another enzyme. So you can say, right, there's nothing naturally that exists like this, but we know the shape of the enzyme. We know where we want to inhibit. So let's build a completely new protein that fits that shape. And so that's an AI-based tool that's really going to revolutionize, especially pharmaceutical science. We're very excited about that, because that's a new way that we'll be able to develop therapeutics. It should be quite quick, and you can develop and deliver it to your organism of choice by using RNA-based delivery as well. In the second semester, students do a more advanced unit in Python and a unit on R and data visualization. And then they do a unit on advanced transcriptomics, which looks at single bulk RNA-seq, which is the example I showed you in the prostate cancer, but also single cell RNA-seq and also spatial RNA-seq, which are the two newest technologies for looking at the transcriptome of any organism. Then in the second year, the students have a choice. They can go on to do a complete coursework master's, or they can go on and do a research-based master's as well. So the students that do the coursework masters, they'll do a high-performance computing unit, which kind of is from the back end of bioinformatics. How do you have the resources? How do you plan the resources? How do you build the pipelines to allow data to be analyzed effectively? For students that want to do the research pathway, they do a research preparation unit where they'll choose the research topic. They'll be working with a host lab, and they start to do all the preliminary work for understanding their research topic. And so they'll be trained in how to write a literature review, how to review a paper effectively, how to communicate at a scientific level, kind of like you're going to a conference. The other units they'll do will be a unit on research training, which cuts on kind of ethics, critical thinking skills, communication skills. And then there's AI for bioinformaticians, which focuses on cancer analysis. And then there's a research case study where we look at published data and reanalyze published data using newer tools to see if we can get different outcomes, and also look at kind of how bioinformatics is evolving, the ideas, the pathways, the tools used are changing, and how does that change the outcomes and the validity of the outcomes of the data that's being generated. So the final semester of the program, the students that do the research pathway do a 1 semester long pure research project. So again, they'll be working in a host laboratory, and we will have a range of research projects across the whole Monash ecosystem. So that's going to be from basic research to clinical research to and touching on biotech as well. And so with this, you'll write a thesis at the end and do an oral presentation that will qualify you for going on to PhD programs around the world. The students that do the coursework pathway would do an advanced case studies, where again we look at more complex case studies, and again starting to really dig down into the details of analysis, trying to find analysis that was done poorly, understand why certain kind of tools were used incorrectly. So it's not just about looking at good examples, it's trying to identify examples that weren't very good, why, and what you do to do a better job of analysing that data. And then you'll do a multi-ohm unit, so it's multi-proteomic or multi-omic unit. So you're looking at transcriptomics, proteomics, lipidomics. How do you merge all three levels of those information? That's one of the real challenges. It sounds like it should be simple. It's not. The protein database has grown up in its own language and style, but the nucleic acid databases have grown up in their own style, so they don't like to cross talk to each other. In many cases, the gene name in one database is not the same in another database. So how do you actually merge that data? So you can think you're getting like 3D view of information. How do you make meaningful conclusions out of that wealth of information? So the final unit is a project management unit that's actually taught by the Monash Business School. And the reason why we put this unit in here is that most scientists never trained in project management. It's something we just do by trial and error. And we didn't think that's actually a very efficient way of doing things. So we're much better off to actually get experts in project planning to provide a framework or a scaffold that then you can then take with you and apply wherever you end up. If you go to industry, you can say, well, yeah, I've actually got formal training and how to plan a project, resource it appropriately, making key deliverables as a part of any project plan. So the skills you kind of get out of this will be a lot on the programming side of things. Again, we're using AI as a tool to use in programming. Bioinformaticians don't have to code as much as they used to, but you still need to know how to code and be able to look at the code, understand what its strengths and limitations are, and modify it as it might need to change. As I'm sure many of you kind of had issues with any IT system on the computer, getting an update, something stops working. You have to develop the skills to be able to troubleshoot what's gone wrong and find ways to improve it. So a big focus is on analysis and statistics. So again, using those critical thinking skills to look at data and not just blindly accept it, always be the devil's advocate. Kind of, does this match my expectation? If not, why not? And then try and dig down. Is it an analysis problem? Was it a problem with the original data set you're given to analyze? So that's a really important skill that translates to kind of any research job or commercial job you would do. So most of the units we teach in are taught in a biological context. So the transcriptomics unit's taught framed around immunology. So we actually have a leading immunologist comes in at the start of that unit and talks about the question they're addressing, why they've used bulk RNA-seq, why they've used single cell, why they've used spatial, and then what conclusions they're drawing from it. And again, the cancer is being brought in the AI for bioinformatics unit. So we're making sure biology is an inherent part of bioinformatics. Not trying to make you biologists necessarily, but we want you to have the language skills to be able to know what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, how to communicate that to a broader audience. And so importantly too, we're going to making sure that AI and machine learning is an integral part of all the units as you're going through. Part of the ecosystem of science now. We don't want to become over-reliant on it. We need to recognize it's a really useful tool. It does have limitations. There are biases in the model, depending on how they've been trained. So you have to recognize those limitations and then work how to modify so you don't get those biases, or how to change how you analyze or believe the outcomes of the data. So another key thing is the kind of more transferable general skills. So critical thinking, problem solving is front and center. That's the most important thing as a scientist, to see a question and not jump to a conclusion, is to think about it. What are the possible ways to look at the data? What are the possible tools to analyze it? Make a decision about what's the best one to go forward with. It's really important. It's fundamental to any science, whether it can experimental science or bioinformatics. Communication is a big thing. We do a lot of our assessments are going to be face-to-face. We're giving presentations. We do a lot of things that we would expect in a scientific conference. So delivering posters, giving talks like this. So that's a major theme of the assessment. Also, time management. You'll be juggling lots of different projects simultaneously. So you're going to be on different servers, different types of data sets. You'll need to be able to juggle many balls at once. And again, that's what happens when you get out to the employment sphere. And also collaboration. You'll be working with a range of different people, people in the program from a range of locations around the world. You'll get to choose, or you'll find a way to kind of work with a very diverse group of people that you haven't necessarily known before, find ways to work effectively with them as well, which again really replicates what happens in the workforce. So importantly, kind of what's your return on investment in doing bioinformatics degree? And at the moment, as I kind of pointed out early on, the gap in analysis is the big problem. That's the kind of rate limiting step in much of the science. So they're predicting over a 12% growth year on year in the need for bioinformaticians globally. So having a degree in bioinformatics opens the door to employment pretty much anywhere in the world. So it's, again, whether you want to be in basic research, applied research, human health, agricultural health, public health, ecological, the breadth is absolutely enormous about where you can possibly go. All the core skills are the same, but where you want to go is largely going to be up to you. So entry into the program, you need to have a 65% average WAM, and then you become, make sure you have the English language skills. I don't think it will be a problem for you guys coming from Amity. So why Monash? So Monash is Australia's largest university, multiple different campuses, a really strong focus on state-of-the-art technology, especially in kind of biomedical sciences. The people teaching it are all active researchers, and so we're really using kind of cutting-edge research tools that Monash is fortunate enough to have. We rank in the top 50, so the degree is very well recognised internationally. We've got a really strong emphasis on research and research quality. We've got also lots of clinical partners as well. So for the people who do the research project, there's a number of really leading hospitals around Melbourne that we have partnerships with that students can go to. And that ranges from kind of reproductive biology all the way to cancer. So it's really a large kind of assembly of projects that people are able to work on. And importantly too, is we've got a large alumni. We've got people all over the world. So wherever you'll go, someone will probably know and value your degree from Monash as well. This is kind of a little bit kind of what the teaching spaces look like at Monash. So that's the learning and teaching building on the left, and that's in the right is one of the rooms for teaching. So we do lots of flat floor teaching space, lots of collaborative interaction. So we really want students to work in partnership with us. It's not a top-down delivery approach. It's very much we have academics leading something, but when we want to have a discussion, understand your thoughts, your questions, and work together to kind of move towards developing your understanding. So the people that teach in this program are all part of the Monash Biomedicine Discovery Institute, which is a large institute that's located on the Clayton campus. Chris will go into that in more detail in a little bit. So what's it like living in Melbourne? It's by Australian standards, it's a pretty big city. It's a bit over 5 million. Sydney and Melbourne kind of vie for who's the biggest city. But we constantly rank in the top livable cities in the world. We've been number 1, we've been number 2, we're now number 3 in the livability index. But it's a big, relatively big city, very kind of laid out quite, the density is not quite as it is here in India. So you'll probably find more kind of open space. That's for those who like cricket, that's the MCG. I mean, see a couple of people smiling and knowing that is. So Melbourne always has what we call the Boxing Day test, which is on the 26th of December. It's kind of the day after Christmas, everyone goes there. So the stadium holds about 100,000 people, and usually there's 100,000 people on Boxing Day to go watch the cricket. And so Modi was here in Melbourne earlier in the year, so he went to one of the stadiums. And he had about 35,000 people turn up to hear him talk with the Prime Minister. So there's a large Indian population within Melbourne that are very, very passionate and proud about their history. So Melbourne itself is a really fun city to be in. It's really multicultural. About 40% of people born or in Melbourne weren't born in Melbourne. So we have people from all over the world, which is great. That means we get food from everywhere in the world, and not just everywhere in the world, it's like every region of the world. So there are lots of Indian restaurants there, but it's not just an Indian restaurant, it's what region of India do you want to eat tonight, which is great. I love food, so it's a great thing to have. Are we eating African or Vietnamese, Chinese, Malaysian, whatever? It's a great thing to have. Public transport network in Melbourne is really good. It's very safe and very efficient to move around in. And Melbourne's got lots of parks, cafes, arts, restaurants, all these things. And importantly, the cost of living is actually, compared to Sydney, a lot cheaper. Sydney is really much more expensive than Melbourne, and even Brisbane, it's a lot cheaper. The weather in Melbourne is a much more variable than what you'd expect here. Melbourne can have very hot days and very cold days and very wet days all on the same day. So it's not one of the sales points of Melbourne, but it keeps you on your toes. All right, so that's it for me here. I guess we'll hand over to Chris now. I'm happy to take any questions perhaps once Chris is done.
This one. Yeah, thanks. Thanks very much for having us. So, is that connect? Looking good? Okay. So Peter and I are becoming India regulars. So we've been coming here a bit over the last few years, and you see if you can get that going for me. So I've been to India, I think 5 times now, and on this trip, we are going to go. We have been to Mumbai, we've been to Pune, we've come back to Delhi, spending some time here in Noida, and then tomorrow night we're going to Hyderabad. We were in Hyderabad last year, and we were so busy. That's good. Yep. Oh, it was good. We didn't have a biryani, so we've got to go back to Hyderabad to have biryani. So we were just too busy. It didn't happen. But we absolutely love it here, and I know that Peter is coming back again in. Oh no, not this summer, not that last summer. You were in Mumbai. Yep, 2.5 weeks. All right, so we've sort of fallen in love with India, but one of the things that we're trying to convince you of is you could fall in love with Australia as well. And I'm going to show you 2 photos, just in case you weren't paying attention to Peter's photos. Okay, so the first one is this one. Yeah? Look at the love. It's love. These are our leaders. These are the leaders of our 2 countries. And the relationship really is amazing, and it is strong, and it is fantastic. And just in case you weren't paying attention to the other picture, so you saw a picture of the MCG. In case anyone doesn't know what the MCG is, that's the place that India goes to beat Australia. Okay? For example, in 2019, I think this particular photo from. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is that on one hand, our cultures are very different. But on the other hand, actually, we have so much in common. And I think that's why the relationship that Professor Singh was talking about before is really building. And Monash is really passionate about working closely with Amity University. And we were talking to one of your props just earlier who's going to come to Monash University. You're going to come to Monash University, yeah, in October and come and visit us. But on that note, I did want to quickly talk about, one of the ways that some of the Amity students can come to Monash. There are a number of agreements. So we have a new agreement to come and study the Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences. So I know not all students here today are doing the BTech, but this is a way that you can do a so-called 2+2 degree. So it's a credit transfer agreement that we've already finalised this. In fact, we already have students that are coming to Monash in this so-called 2+2. So it's a credit transfer agreement between our 2 universities where you study here at Amity for a couple of years, and then you get credit for those studies, and then you come and do the second half of your degree at Monash University. So you can get credit for very specific subjects. So you can see here that the studies that you've already done in cell biology and biochemistry, evolution, ecology and genetics, the physics subject, the microbiology and physiology, the fundamentals in chemistry and quant analysis that you've done, molecular biology and gene technology, the chemical biology and the biostats, all these things that you've already done in that course, you get credit for that. So that you bring all of that to Monash with you. And then, of course, you can see, what have we got here? This is an enzyme. This is an enzyme that is in our mouth and in our stomach right now, helping us digest all of the rice and the paratha bread and helping me digest the masala dosa that I had for breakfast today and yesterday and the day before. I have masala dosa every day when I come to India, because I don't really get it in Melbourne. This is the amylase enzyme. If you look very closely, you can see a little starch molecule in there being digested. Yeah, a little glucose or maltose molecule, which will turn into glucose being digested there. So you start to learn all of these skills, and then you bring those skills into the second and third year of the biomedical science degree at Monash. So overall, CGPA of 6.0 out of 10 across all of your units average that you've done at Amity, obviously just meeting those English language requirements and just meeting those minimum requirements to come into Monash. So in the Australian system, our first semester starts in March and our second semester starts at the end of July. So for a lot of students coming from India, it's not very convenient to come and start in the first semester. So there are actually two ways to start. And a lot of the students that come from Amity, they actually start with us in semester 2. So it's all been set up so that you can do that. So you don't have to start the Monash part in semester 1. It's fine to come and start in the semester 2 intake starting in July. When you do arrive, you will be studying, you can see here there's some important anatomy, so learning all of that really important anatomy and physiology. You won't be surprised to hear a lot of our students are interested in doing medicine. Actually doing the Bachelor of Biomedical Science as a pathway to getting into a medicine, a postgraduate medicine program. So you will be covering off on all of that important anatomy and physiology. But what goes hand in hand with that is all of that genetics, the importance of microbes in health. You've been hearing Peter talk about bioinformatics at the master's level. We also have bioinformatics at a more introductory level, perhaps, within the undergraduate degree. And then we dive really deeply. So in the final year of the program, really looking at those molecular mechanisms of disease and the biomedical basis of epidemiology, human disease, public health, and so on. Peter showed you a few photos of the campus. We are very lucky. We have amazing newish buildings at Monash University, which are really world-class. I know today is a bit like a sort of a lecture theatre. You know what, we don't really use lecture theatres at Monash anymore, and we don't really give lectures at Monash very much anymore. A lot of our lectures are pre-recorded. We still do some small amount of lecturing, but the learning happens best when students are talking to each other. So we have these beautiful buildings, but if you look at the classrooms, you can see that this is one of our large classrooms. This room holds 150 students, but it's not designed for lecturing. It's designed for students to be sitting around tables, talking to each other. Peter and I will be in the classroom, still facilitating and giving small amounts of lecturing, but then we stop talking and we allow the students to talk to each other, to work through problems. And all of our classrooms look like this now. We still have some lecture theatres, but all of our modern classrooms are designed with this in mind. You can see this one almost looks like the the Wall Street Stock Exchange. You've got these screens up the top there. Around the back of the room, there are whiteboards. Students get out off the tables, right up on the whiteboards, and we can project what the students have done up on the big screens. So it is truly designed for collaborative learning. This room holds 170 students. Again, all about collaborative learning. So even when we do big classroom teaching, we still want students sitting around tables, talking to each other, working with each other. Even this room here, which is probably the biggest room in our learning and teaching building, still designed for collaborative learning. Okay, it's still got a bit of a lecture theatre kind of feel about it. All of the biomedical learning and teaching that we do happens in this building here. Once again, very lucky to have a beautiful building. This building was new in 2019. It's where all of the anatomy happens on the basement level. And then as you work up through the building, you do more physiology, where the students are on exercise bikes, connecting electrodes to their brains and the other students monitoring their brain activity. And then as you work up through the building, there's pharmacology, biochemistry. We have a PC2 lab where all of the microbiology is taught. So we're very, very lucky to have very, very modern equipment. And this happens at scale. We teach up to 240 students at a time. So I'm almost finished, but I do want to really send this important message. I think the job market globally is set for some pretty major disruption. Some jobs are going to be very heavily disrupted by AI, and I think a lot of students are very worried about that. The science that we do underpins many different health professions. And if you look at the projections that you can see on this slide here, across all of those different health professions, the projections at the moment are these are going to grow. So while some jobs in some areas might be under threat, or they're certainly going to undergo a lot of disruption and evolution, the health professions are just going to keep growing. So when you do a course like a Bachelor of Biomedical Science, a BTech, a Bachelor of Science, that fundamental science that underpins those health professions across any of these areas, we can expect growth. I have one final slide. This one's got some salaries in Australian dollars. I probably should have converted this to Indian rupees. Does everyone know what the conversion is from an Australian dollar to rupees? Yes, how much? Around 66. Did you just Google that? You knew that. Fantastic. Oh, we've already got one convert. It's coming to. That's great. Fantastic. That's absolutely great news. So you guys are in the course now? That's absolutely fantastic. And you will get $1 Australian for every 66 rupees, okay, when you come. So you could convert these salaries here. And these of course, are the starting salaries. But and I've been promoting the Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences. Clearly, we have many other courses. We have our psychology course that Professor Singh is very passionate about his psychology and psychiatry. Bachelor of Health Sciences. We have a new degree, the Bachelor of Speech Pathology. The master's level. You heard Peter talk about the Master of Bioinformatics. We have biotech. We have biomedical and health sciences, public health, health data analytics. There are many others, but these are the ones that are in our general area. So look, I'm going to finish there. Thank you so much for being such kind hosts. We're going to spend a little bit more time here today, but thank you. Some questions? Oh, of course. Yes. Peter, do you want to come up just in case there's any questions? So I think you have to be somewhere. Not getting the hook, I'm not sure. Oh, is it that one? Oh, the one on the table, yeah.
Does anyone want to ask any questions? Please raise your hands. Anyone?
If you have any questions regarding research and the kind of things which you are doing, please feel free to ask, and anything, yeah.
I was asking that what is the process of self-learning bioinformatics, like from where to start till where to end, considering to the fact that most of the projects are end-to-end written and you have to know various aspects of several things so as to continue on it.
So the self-learning in bioinformatics?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think getting started. Yeah, right, yeah.
So is your question about what we should have some skills before you start the course? Is that?
No, I'm asking that from where to start and to where to head and go all the way through the process, like how it, if in a summarized way, it can be explained or talked about.
So, yeah, I mean, during our course, like the students, they do lots of, as Chris was kind of saying, the kind of the workshop material, but we do expect the students to do lots of work outside that will kind of give them specific skills that they are needing to develop. So we'll give them material for them to work through to practice a particular skill. Is that addressing your question?
No, like I was actually thinking about learning about a little bit from now only about bioinformatics. So I was thinking that is it like this that first we study about thinking of an infrastructure, then data management on it, then model creation, like how it goes, in which way the process of consideration to create complex project analysis goes throughout.
Yeah, so the first thing is just kind of probably where you're starting from, being interested. And then there are lots of resources online that you can go and find kind of what particularly interests you. There's certain institutions have some really good resources that you can look at. EMBL from Europe, they have some online resources that you can kind of look into RNA sequencing and start to understand what it is, how it works, and how to build pipelines, things like that. So yeah, there's lots of online resources that you can go to try and find what interests you specifically and flesh out more information.
Okay.
Very good afternoon, sir. Thank you for this interactive session. I wanted to know that if CS of medical biomedical sciences is available for 1 year master.
So yeah, we don't offer a 1 year master's. It's a 2 year integrated program, and so the research component is 1 semester long with doing a little bit of pre-research preparation in the 3rd semester of the program. Yeah, so it's definitely a 2 year program.
And also, what are the PhD programs available?
Right. So completing the master's program, if you do the research component, will qualify you for a PhD. And so that will qualify you for essentially all universities in Australia and globally. And then so Monash is a very large PhD program. So both with directly at BDI, which is where Chris and I are from, but also with our partner institutes around. And that, again, bioinformaticians are really sought after for PhDs because labs have got lots of data and they want people with some skills. And so completing the master's program will allow you to enter into a PhD really well prepared to take on any question that you find interesting. And I guess that's what my one tip for anyone considering a PhD, you've got to find what you're passionate about because PhDs are hard. So find what really excites you. And then when it gets hard, you'll just rely on, I just want to know the answer. You'll get over that hump. But yeah, there's a really broad network of PhD opportunities from, again, basic research, translational research across the Monash ecosystem.
Yeah. Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm sure you had a good session and everyone is taking something back home to talk to their parents or maybe to explore their career opportunities. So myself, Nimika Sharma, I'm based in India, in Delhi. I do look after the recruitment for Monash University and I'm a staff of Monash. I'm sure, after this session, you might have some questions, or you want to, just wanted to apply, or maybe just you want to inquire about Monash. Feel free to reach out to me through your international recruitment department. I think, yeah, details are here. Please, please, please reach out to them. They will certainly get you connected to us. And I'm happy to take questions. I'm happy to talk about the scholarships, the opportunities, the courses which is designed for you. Not only from the medical science background, but then we also have other departments as well. So please visit the website. And if you have any question regarding the Monash, feel free to reach out to through your department. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for being a good audience. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. And may we have a huge round of applause for our esteemed delegation who have come here all the way from Australia to discuss, share the opportunities, and of course, most importantly, the research aspects which you are doing and will be doing it together with Monash students and faculty. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am. And thank you so much, everyone. And I would request the students to be seated while we escort our guests. Thank you. And if any student has any specific doubt, maybe you can meet us. You can come out and we can meet you. And especially the international students, you may please be requested to come with Professor Rashri and the team. Thank you.
So I just want to kind of mention, if anyone wants more information about the Masters of Bioinformatics, they can email me directly. If you look at Monash Masters of Bioinformatics, you'll have my email address there. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about that as well. Thanks, guys.
The first year international students also please come. If BTech first year international, TI you also come. Any other BTech first year? Vanya is absent. Any other? Yeah. And also, if anyone have any other questions, you may not be comfortable asking here, you can also come. Okay? The students can leave. Thank you so much for patience hearing. Thank you.
So once again, a very warm welcome to our friends. As I was saying in the morning, that we have got a very strong relationship with the University of Monash, and great to see Professor Thompson, Professor Bog, and Ms. Sharma to be here. These are very distinguished scientists and some of our very senior colleagues whom we have invited for this brainstorming session, that what we can do together. But just to give you an overview that what we have done in the past with Monash, so that you know that where we are. Our relationship is a very, very strong relationship. We started up with a program called Study Abroad Program with the Monash University. I got an opportunity to speak to their Vice Chancellor, Professor Pecking, and she was the one. Prateek, maybe that you can show slides. Yeah. And she was the one. That's their Vice Chancellor, and Professor Sharon was the one who, along with some of our very senior colleagues, authored this partnership with both the universities. So we started up with the relationship, which is known as Study Abroad Program. This was 5-week long program where the students, they were spending some time with them. They were going to their labs. They were having a meaningful interaction. And then we were looking at that which are the areas where we can work together. We also had then twinning programs and articulation programs in the area of management, in the area of engineering, in the area of biotech, and in the area of psychology. Biotechnology is the new area. And I'm very happy that a few students are also going this year to them. I think 2 of them you have already met. Yeah. We also did one of the historical programs with them called under the grant, where 300 Monash students for the first time visited us. So this was a very huge program which no university in India had organized so far. So which was lauded by the Ministry of External Affairs. PMO office was also very appreciative that both universities are coming closer. But I think that more importantly, we also did 3 research conferences with the Monash University, where we saw that they had a lot of interest. So they were all based on the new technologies, what we can do in the area of artificial intelligence. We had some biotechnologists who became a part from psychology. A large number of very senior people, psychiatrists, they participated. We got very good citations out of these conferences. And our H index was also affected from both the sides. Also, few of our students were from psychology department who went there. I think 7 of them, they got very good employment. Few of our students, they pick up internship projects. And similarly, the students who came from their side, they also spent a semester after finishing their program under the New Colombo plan. But this meeting has been organized to understand that what else we can do together. So they are very senior people, and quite a few of them, they have got a very rich background of doing projects and also exploring various options, which includes funding opportunities from both the sides. So I would request, first of all, our colleagues, if they can say the areas where you are interested and introduce themselves, and also our colleagues, if you can also let us know that where you are interested. But I think that principally we have decided that we will again start study abroad program. We will write an application for the New Colombo plan. Can we do a little bit about that? We also offered to the various projects that the government of Uttar Pradesh is undertaking. And one of the projects which we have very recently we are undertaking with Australia University that how Noida can reduce the cancer patients. So this is one project that would like to tell more projects. Over to you, so that you can introduce yourself and your colleagues, and then you take it from there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Put on a quick word about the department.
What's that? Yeah, I'll cut that anything on here.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Chris Thompson. It's lovely to meet you all. Thank you for hosting us. So I'll speak a little bit about our institute. So Peter and I both come from the Biomedicine Discovery Institute. It includes all of the traditional areas of biomedicine, biochemistry, pharmacology, physiology, microbiology, and we also have a lot of immunologists in our school. Even though we have a very traditional structure of departments, all of our researchers are now associated with different areas of health and disease. So the Institute has organised around the important areas of cancer, and we've already heard there's a lot of amazing cancer research happening here at Amity, cardiovascular, stem cells and regenerative medicine, metabolism and obesity, immunity, infection, and neuroscience. And the key to the way the Institute works is big science and good science doesn't happen in isolation. By having those research programs, it allows people to connect with other people who are doing work in each of those areas. Even with our own school, we may have had people working on a cancer program, but we're in different departments historically. By having those 7 discovery programs, they now come together. They come together with people from the hospital sector, the clinical sector, and it helps them connect with people from other countries. So in terms of connecting with India and connecting with Amity, we believe through those discovery programs, that's a great mechanism because it helps people identify where those opportunities exist. So that's on the research front and how our research is organised. Our education footprint is very big. We have a very large number of undergraduate students. So we have approximately 3,500 undergraduate students studying biomedical sciences. But we also do a lot of service teaching into medicine, nursing, occupational therapy, and so on, right across the health professions. Today, Peter spoke about his master's program. So we have a big master's footprint. And we have about 350 PhD students in our school. So we are a very big school, a little bit like Amity. Everything Amity is big. The biggest, would you say? Is Amity the biggest?
Yeah, this is the largest private university of India.
Right, yeah. So I think Monash thinks it's big, perhaps not as big as you guys.
No, it is.
So that's a little bit about our institute. Yeah.
I think that the energy between Monash and MIT, it is really amazing because I think that these are two largest brands of the world. And what we saw that when we were doing many programs with Monash was enthusiasm through which the scientists they work. The program, the New Colombo plan, I think that this was the massive grant because no Australian university has ever done it before. So suddenly sending 300 students to an Indian university where the students are really spending some time. And then out of this 300 students who visited, a lot of research papers were written. And then almost in all the areas, we are working together. We are working in biotechnology. Very recently, we have started. But in management, large number of students have been a part of your ecosystem. We have seen engineering students going in huge number, psychology students picking up internships. So I think that there are enormous opportunities which exist between Monash and MIT. And at one point of time, we're also looking at under the new education policy, government is inviting few universities to establish campuses here. So we had very fruitful discussions with Professor Sharon, your president, when I was there. And we said that let's start up with the offering at least 5 domains. So 5 domains is actually a full-fledged university, if you look at. But very warm welcome to all of you. And as you were rightly saying that they are the largest in Australia, and we are the largest in India. But beyond that, I think that both the universities are also having international color. That you are very, very international. You have campuses across the globe. Similarly, MIT also has the campuses across the globe. Ms. Nisha.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. I am Nimika and I'm based in India. My job actually involves the role wherein I look after the recruitment part of Monash. So wherein I guide and help the student from different schools and colleges and university to study at Monash. Yeah, that's all about me. Thank you.
So much. So thank you so much, Professor Chris and the team from Monash. I am Professor Pooja Vijayaraghavan. I'm the Director of Biotechnology Institute at Amity. So first of all, I would like to say, Professor Chris, I completely echo with what you said. When we talk about research, we can definitely not do it in silos. We have to collaborate. And the great work that is being done at Monash and the great work that's being done at Amity, I think there's a very, very large opportunity platform where we can collaborate. So I'll just tell you a little bit about my institute. So again, we are the largest biosciences institute in this campus. So my institute, Amity Institute of Biotechnology, is a part of the larger domain, which is Faculty of Biosciences and Biotechnology. And my colleagues from that from the institutes within the domain are here, so they'll talk about their institute. So for biotechnology, we have 2,500 students, 90 faculty members, and we are a very, very highly research-oriented department. Out of 90 faculty members who are here, who are with us, everybody is a PhD. They have very, very strong postdoctoral degrees and they have very strong international connect. Having said so, we have at present 66 ongoing research grants from various government, national and international agencies, including ASEAN, including BRICS, Indo-Japan, Indo-UK, so a lot of bilateral projects. And we are working in all the areas where biotechnological interventions are required. So we actually are looking at One Health. So whether we talk about human health or animal or plant or environment, the entire paradigm, we are taking care of everything. And we have centers which is actually working on right from sustainability to diagnostics to therapeutics, drug resistance, bioinformatics. We have a very strong bioinformatics team. We are working on vaccine pipelines. We are working on, understanding diseases in neurodegenerative disorders, schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson. We publish close to 700 research papers every year. Some of them are so obviously Scopus indexed, but they're very high impact factor and highly cited papers. We are a very young team, so our average age is around 40, I think. So we are a very young team. That is why we are highly motivated. Our students are equally brilliant. We ensure that they stand out in terms of their achievements, the way we motivate them, and we're very proud of them. So I think, having said so, I think there is a lot of opportunities where we can participate with you. And we want Amity and Monash to grow together. Our students to benefit from, I mean, there is no use making such large infrastructure if students across the world cannot use them and utilize them, right? So we want our students to participate in the programs, the 2+2 that we are running. We want more number of students. We would ensure more number of students participate. It's a lovely organization, very highly ranked. So thank you so much for coming, and we would discuss more. Thank you.
And they also have very large number of students who are doing the PhD program. So I know that you have got 350 students who are doing PhD with you. And all of them, they have a very strong PhD program. And I think that we can always start small. And the low-hanging fruit is that maybe that one faculty from your side and one faculty from our side. It's the easiest thing which we can immediately start and work on.
So we can look into areas which are of importance to your institute, and we can map it with our research, ongoing research. And the best thing that we see, or the fastest that we see is, faculty from Monash in the similar area can become an external guide. And the student can start doing research under faculty from Amity as guide and an external guide or an international guide from Monash. And, that would also ensure that the faculty members work together, publish. And whenever there is an open call for a bilateral project, that would be a platform through which we can apply.
You mentioned mapping. Mapping is one of the most important things because we're both such big organizations, very complex. If we can do the mapping, find out where those similarities and where those opportunities exist, it all starts with the mapping.
Because we cannot be a part of the discussion all the time. Once we map, it would be up to the faculty members from both the organizations to take that discussion further and ensure that we have a concrete outcome. And that concrete outcome is, working together, submitting projects, proposals, publications, all of that. Yeah.
I really like the idea of the, we'd call it co-supervision, to have a Australian and a Monash and a Amity co-supervisor. I think that's a really strong way to build those connections. And I think getting those publications, joint publications, really strengthens grants going forward. So that's a really good place to start.
We'll do that as soon as possible. I think once we conclude our meeting today, by this weekend, we will share with Group Vice Chancellor, sir, the list of our faculty members, their area of expertise and the projects that they are undertaking. And that can be shared with you. And you can send your list and we can map it and we'll take it forward. Absolutely.
So welcome to team from Monash. I'm Professor Dr. Seema Bhatnagar, and I'm heading Amity Center for Nanomedicine, which is also part of the biosciences biotechnology domain. We are a small center, but we work more than what a single person can do. So we work really hard. We're working in the area of SDG 3, that is good health and well-being. So biosensor technology, One Health, and we are a lot into drug delivery. These are some of the important projects The center is running on projects actually, and right now also we have several projects and faculty members are publishing in very high impact publications. We are also working in the area of metal organic frameworks, which is very hot area these days. So we're looking to applications of those materials for environmental remediation and drug delivery, and also for MRI contrast agents. So these are very niche areas in which the faculty are working, and we have several PhD scholars who are also working in this area. And my association with Monash has been while I was at biotechnology. I was taking care of the study abroad program, and it has been a very fulfilling journey, our association. And recently, one of my students who had participated in the SAP program, so she has gone and joined, she has joined Monash for the MBA program. So she was really excited about after the SAP program, and that motivated her after completing her graduation from here. Now she has joined Monash. And I mean, I have always seen the transformative experience with the students. So I have good hopes for Monash, and I look forward for more research collaboration and transfer of PhD scholars, joint PhDs, all those opportunities I will look forward to. Thank you so much.
So good number of students have gone from biotechnology area to Monash, and quite a few of them. And that's the strength of these programs, that once they go there, they are able to explore that should they be part of the major projects. So good to see that biotechnology students, they were there.
That because you sent me for SAP, so I'm going and joining Monash because her experience was really good.
Right.
So she has joined the MBA program with you this time only.
Right.
Thank you.
Right. Also, now under the new education policy, students can go for their twinning programs. So twinning programs are that students can earn credits for 1 year. So I had sent this proposal earlier also, that maybe if not a full program, then they can go for a semester or 2 semesters, and then they can stitch back these credits to their degree in India. So I think that this is another addition which we want to implement in biotechnology area. We have done this in management, but we'd like to explore that if we can do that in biotechnology also. Thank you. Dr. Rajani.
Myself, Dr. Rajni Singh. I'm in the microbiology department. My core area is microbiology. In microbiology, we are working on the microbial enzymes, which are useful in almost all the area of the science, every area, either it is agriculture or it is medical. Recently, we are also working on the antibiotic resistance microbes from the pharmaceutical industrial waste. So because it is already in water bodies, so we are working on, we came to know that yes, lots of number of bacteria are too high, which are in a MDR category. So how to handle them, how to treat them, how to reduce the antibiotic load on the water bodies. We are working on that one also. Simultaneously, we are working entirely different area in the PGPR qualities of the microbial system for the agriculture yield enhancement. That is also one of the area which we are working upon. So different areas. And yes, of course, the first thing is which Dr. Pooja has already told, that collaborative research for the students. So external guide could be we have in our institute, we have the program where collaborative guide is from the Dublin and Scotland also. So we will extend the same thing with the Monash University also, so that because we have the PhD students, they recently registered, and one of the part we can add on that external guide could be from Monash University if we map the program. Another which we can collaborate further is the research. After mapping the scientist, because we are working and writing the review papers also. In review papers, research paper will take some time, but review paper we can work on immediately. So that can be good for the publication point of view. We can do that part also with the Monash University and for the further collaborations.
Hi, good afternoon. Thanks for visiting MIT and welcome to MIT. So I'm Avijit. I'm heading the Institute of Virology and Immunology. It's a kind of institute parallel to the Melbourne's Peter Doherty Institute. We do the research in exactly in the same line. And I'm not killing time by saying the same thing again and again. Amity is a research-driven university, and in these two domains we are sitting here. The absolute majority of the faculties are PhDs with multiple years of postdoctoral experience. So I'm not repeating it again. So what we do research of any field of infection as well as the immunology part. We offer undergraduate programs in life science and medical microbiology and immunology. And medical microbiology and immunology is the only offered in Amity in whole India. And we offer in master's level, masters in virology, masters in medical microbiology, and definitely masters in immunology. So we cover entire spectrum of infection and immunity. And some faculties are doing research on cancer immunology as well, because infection in immunocompromised host is a major factor. Yeah, we are open to for any kind of collaboration, student exchange. And I cannot explain the experience because I'm quite new. I returned India after 20 years to take over this position. So I'm not familiar with the history of my institute, but I know one or two of our alumni are still there in Monash. But yeah, they should be in the field of virology or immunology. So yeah, we are open to work together, and especially I'm a specialist of respiratory infections, and all the vaccines come from the strains circulating from your part of the world. And then we use, and then you learn from us. We definitely can work together in this way. Yeah. Thank you.
Very good afternoon, sir. Myself, Dr. Tanveer Naveed. I am Deputy Dean for the Faculty of Health and Allied Sciences. And there are four common areas which you have just mentioned, Professor Chris, which is common with MONASH and MIT. One is the pharmacy and pharmacology. So our School of Pharmaceutical Sciences is one of the leading in the country with the top ranking. And another area is the neuroscience. So we have an established Institute of Neuroscience and Neuropsychology on this campus. Another area is occupational therapy. As there is a great demand of occupational therapists across the world, I think this is one area which is emerging as one of the leading areas across the globe. And of course, the public health, because in the COVID area, the importance of public health is well known. So this is areas where we can collaborate, sir. And I like to share one interesting point that couple of our students recently they completed their summer internship at Australia. They completed at University of New England at New South Wales. But I think after today's interactive meeting under the leadership of our group vice chancellor, sir, we see a very strong relation in the area of health and allied sciences. Thank you.
Hello, I am Dr. Amit Kharkwal, Director, MIT Institute of Microbial Technology. We are working in the focus area of plant microbe and microbe-microbe interaction for sustainable agriculture. And we have developed multiple technologies, and among such, 3 technologies are already transferred to 8 companies, including one internationally in Taiwan. And we are also looking forward for collaboration. Long time back, one of our alumni students worked in Monash for a SAP, and many students have joined Monash for higher education, and they are working in Australia also. So, and looking forward for the collaboration. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a microbiome symposium every year at Monash.
Right.
So you might be possibly join.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Science Technology Alliance Department. I'm also SMT very well, and I is to identify research schemes, international faculty members, and one scheme is going to launched in September Center for Australian Innovation grant and fellowship scheme and a scholarship. So we can submit a joint research probability scheme. And this Foundation and Australian India Research Foundation, we can also submit a joint research proposal in institution. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon to everyone, and my name is Vivek, and I'm also working as the same which Ryzen were working, and also I'm doing same work which he working. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Ayushi. I represent the Office of Group Vice Chancellor, Sir, and the International Affairs Division. I feel that there is immense potential for us to collaborate under the new education policy and have a joint campus-on-campus model or a joint center, given that Amity already has the regulatory expertise, infrastructure, and the largest cohort of students in India, and Monash can bring in their academic capital. So I feel there's a lot of potential there. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Sheetal Chauhan, representing the Office of Group Vice Chancellor, sir. Firstly, indeed, it was a very insightful and informative session. Thank you for that. We look forward to further exploring potential avenues for collaboration, such as India Immersion Program, joint research initiatives, and other mutually beneficial engagement. Thank you.
Hello, we've met, but I'd just like to add one thing. Maybe we can look at research interdisciplinary where AI and integration of bioscience can be done in molecular level and how things can be improved with the use of AI. Right. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all the esteemed delegation from Monash University. And I welcome you all to the campus, first of all, and a very insightful presentation you had given, sir, in the meeting. Sir, I was actually visiting your website and I just found that you have some active collaborations and the setup of a research academy with IIT Bombay. I just wanted to know more about that, and can we also set up a similar research academy with Monash and Amity here? What is the possibility of that? If you could just brief about the research academy and the work they are doing.
Yes. Yeah, so we have a relationship with IITB. I think it goes back over 10 years. So we don't specifically have a campus, a Monash campus there, but we do have a research office and the Monash IITB Research Academy. It's effectively been used to facilitate relationships between academics at both ends. And there's also a joint PhD program. So I think 170 odd PhDs in total who are doing a joint PhD. They are predominantly based in India at IITB, but they do 1 year of PhD studies at Monash. It's working pretty well. There is a little bit of an incongruence because our PhD is a bit shorter. So we typically going 3 to 4 years to complete a PhD at IITB, minimum 5 years. So they're not quite the same. Otherwise, it's working well.
So we can also establish the same Amity Research Academy here also, right? That possibility can be explored.
We should definitely look into that.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, sir. A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries we already have met through Gurinder Singh, sir. It was a pleasure listening to all the delegates, along with the students, to know more about, your programs and other achievements. Myself, Harjinder Kaur, sir has already briefed about me working as an additional director at Amity Foundation for Science, Technology and Innovation Alliances. As I mentioned that recently our Honorable Founder President, sir, has announced a mission named Amity Global Synergy Connect, which is being led by Gurinder Singh, sir. And under his guidance, we SNT warriors, you have met a couple of them, there are more who are watching you online to the program. So we would be very happy to closely understand more about it. And student participation is already there, and you are already, 7 students have already visited in July. So we would talk more about research thematic areas where we can work together jointly, in which we can have the high impact research themes, which jointly we can build together for long-term research and external funding and industry engagement. Achieve outcome with this relationship which we have, because Monash, and I mean, as you just mentioned, that you people are working in particular domain like biotechnology is a major field, cancer research is what you're doing. But there are other thematic areas like in other aspects where we would also like to proceed under the guidance of Gurinder Singh sir. And you would be happy to know that I briefed you in the morning that Dr. Bhuvan Kamath, one Raman fellow from Australia. She was previously working with Monash University as the postdoctoral fellow, and also she has done her PhD from Monash University. So we already have your alumni with us working at Amity Bangalore campus. So she has seen you. She was in engine department. So it's very, heart-warming to welcome you here and looking forward for more associations, sir. So we'll take your guidance, Gurinder Singh sir, on this. Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Dr. Rajeshri Das, professor at Amity Institute of Biotechnology. I also look after the international programs of our department. About my research, I work on gastrointestinal disease and gut microbiota. So I was very much interested in the work that you were doing. So you can also collaborate and look into the Indian samples, Indian population, that how does it has an effect on the Indian population. I would like to collaborate with you. Apart from that, about the students, the twinning program that sir was telling, it will really benefit our students, because in the last semester of BTech program, the students have a 6 months project. So maybe they can do some kind of certificate program for 7 months or even 9 months. And maybe the BTech students can do in certificate program in bioinformatics. So that will be an advantage from them, maybe. Yeah, thank you.
Very good afternoon and welcome to Amity again. Since you have visited us many times, we intend to welcome you further as well. So I'm Dr. Devlina Pramanik. I am a professor here at Amity Institute of Biotechnology. So we are basically a nanotechnology and nanomaterials, a material research development group. So we are developing innovative nanomaterials and self-assembled nanostructures, even nanopatterned surfaces for 2 specific applications. One of them would be the environmental applications, where we are into developing innovative sensors and employing molecular spectroscopy techniques for detecting the pollutant inside the body. It's in vitro and in vivo, and also the different kinds of the plasma or the blood of not the human beings, but of course the mice or the rat model. The second one would be the applied nanomaterials, which is the lipidic nanostructures. These are self-assembled nanostructures meant for drug delivery and for application towards cancer. So as sir rightly has said, that we are going to be the top nation to lead in cancer. So one of the lab is working on linking which is the pollutant to the cancer, and the other lab of ours works on investigating the molecular mechanisms associated with the cancer. So we are the Pramanik Research Group. So I'm Dr. Devlina Pramanik. He's Dr. Arindam Pramanik. He's a biologist. I'm a material scientist. So we complementary do the work, and we are more than happy to host you in our lab. And for any collaborations, so regarding collaboration, I would like to tell you, we are on the vision of developing one of the largest consortia of micro and nanoplastics research hub here at Amity. We do have one in the European nations, we have in UK, we have in US, but in India, we are still awaiting one. So how can we develop a collaboration on the plastic pollution research? So if you would be interested, we would be happy to join hands. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Arindam Pramanik. So I am a faculty at Amity Institute of Biotechnology. So already as told by Dr. Devlina that we are working on nanomaterials. So I particularly work on lipid nanoparticles. So one of the reason why the cancers basically achieve drug resistance is because of mutations. And one of the mutations which happens are in the ABC efflux pumps, right? Because they pump out the drug before it can do the action. So what we are doing is we have identified few of the genes which are responsible for driving these ABC influx pumps more actively. So what we are doing is we are loading some siRNAs in the lipid nanoparticles, and at the same time we are also loading some therapeutic molecules and co-delivering the nanoparticles inside the tumor microenvironment, so that one of the part of the drug, that is the siRNA, will silence the genes, and the other part, that is the therapeutic molecule, will slowly kill the cancer cells. So this is how we are trying to do the targeted drug delivery, so that there is a minimum toxicity into the inside the body, and at the same time we are able to achieve the killing the tumor cells. So this is one of the area we are working on. And another area which we are working is on developing biopolymers for wound healing applications. So we are making basically hydrogel materials which can be encapsulated with various therapeutic molecules, mostly phytochemicals, which will help to regenerate the tissues where the wound happens, so that the tissue repair can do faster and the wound can be healed faster. So currently my lab is funded by 3 different projects, government funded projects. 2 are from the Indian Council of Medical Research, that is the biggest medical research council of India, and 1 is from the ANRF, which is a part of DST. So we are having 3 different projects from 3 funding agencies. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So if we can collaborate, then it will be a very good opportunity for our PhD students of Amity University to work in new university, or we can even do some collaboration from distance as well.
Good afternoon and most welcome to Amity University. So I am Professor Manoj Garg and Assistant Director at Amity Institute of Molecular Medicine and Stem Cell Research, where you have visited in the morning and you have looked at the facility that we do have. So we are total 17 to 18 faculty which are working on cancer, host pathogen interaction, then stem cell. So and different area, including the coding, non-coding genome, microenvironment, tumor environment, immunological regulations. So, and particularly myself is interested in leukemias, pancreatic cancer and gallbladder cancer, where we do have a less therapeutic windows. So if we figure out something that will be great for the society. And I would like to mention that I have a collaborator at Children Cancer Hospital Institute in Australia. And we have submitted bilateral grant earlier together, Tau Liu. So it was on long non-coding RNA. They have a sophisticated system which can figure out the RNA protein interaction, and then you can target the protein part and disrupt the non-coding. And that's how the therapeutics work. And when I was in Singapore at National University of Singapore at Cancer Science Institute, we were adjunct faculty to Monash University, and many of them are still there. And we also have Richard as a collaborator from Australia Leukemic Group, which had defined this ELN, then Australian, then American. There are different groups. We were part of that. So it will be great if we can be adjunct faculty, or if we can write these bilateral grant together, as my colleague Dr. Pooja has already mentioned, or student exchange program, or whatever way it is. And then we are good publishing very good paper from here in Nature, Cell Science, etc. That's all about. Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. On the behalf of MT Institute of Biotechnology, I welcome you. I am Professor Ravikant Singh, Faculty of Biotechnology. In biotechnology, as per areas are concerned, we have around, as Dr. I.B. told, 90 faculties are there. In this biotechnology, we have 6 centers. One is Center for Medical Biotechnology, which is the very strongest center of AIB. Another is Center for Computational Biology and Bioinformatics also, which are more aligned with your areas, the faculty you are seeking for. The medical biotechnology and bioinformatics, we have around 45 faculties. More than around 50% of faculties are working either in the medical biotechnology or in bioinformatics also. As far as AI is concerned, machine learning is concerned, our faculties are doing and carrying good quality projects also. And another center is industrial biotechnology. I am a faculty of industrial biotechnology. We are targeting biofuel, climate actions, because right now United Nations are also targeting these things, and how we can convert waste into the value added product. And some engineering approaches should also be there so that the product can go to the society also. And after that, we have plant biotechnology also. We are taking care of crop health also, and environmental biotechnology. And in AIB, we have cellular and molecular biology also. Good thing. And another, the last center is marine science. Our faculties are working in the area of marine science also, because a lot of exposures are also needed in marine science. Very unexplored things are also available in it. As far as publication is concerned, we have publishing more than 400 papers in Scopus Index Journal every year. And we hope we collaborate with the Monash University, as we have already been collaborated with some other universities also. Our faculty have good international projects also. So the publication is also the initial target for us, so that our strength are undergraduate and postgraduate students. So why not we go for the undergraduate and postgraduate students? Become 2,000 students are with us in biotechnology itself, 2,500. And as far as NTCC is concerned, this is the project, basically UG project and PG project in the final year. For 6 months, students can go to Monash University for completing their dissertation work. So that after doing some research at your organization, automatically the publication will come. As far as number is concerned, UG and PG have 2,500 students only in AIB itself. And as our director already told, the PhD scholars are also being collaborated with the faculties working in the Monash University, so that the co-supervisor will be there, and long run and quality research can also be proceed. We have certain visiting professors also from the foreign universities. So we hope future more and more visiting professors from the university deliver a lecture to our students also, because our strength is our students itself. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I just forget to mention that we are running the BSc Biomedical Science, which I think can go very well with your +2 Biomedical Science program. So that is another area where we can pitch in and do the mapping with the credits, and can have like biomedical sciences. Yeah, we started that, I think, a year back with Dr. Seema Bhatnagar, but somehow it was not raised to that level. Now I think it's the opportunity here. Yeah, yeah. So I forget that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same institute actually. I'm director, Professor Subhrajit Biswas. Already I mentioned about that. So yeah, what Dr. Manoj is mentioning, that we have a undergraduate biomedical science, and you have a biomedical science masters plus health science also. Yeah, so we can definitely coordinate with that. And biomedical science is a now very broad field. Even last week we have a meeting with the Birmingham University, as well as I have a coordination with Pittsburgh. There is a big biomedical science building over there. So one faculty. So we have a global synergy. So some kind of the good things we want to do. And personally, I did after graduation, I was in USA, and my expertise on hematopoietic stem cell, and currently working on the liver cancer. Not only liver cancer, because in our department or institute, all faculty has expertise on the different cancer biology, like we work in pancreatic cancer, then I'm liver cancer, then breast cancer. Like Peter has a big facility on the genomic transcriptomics, then facility. So some kind of India is a big hub for the cancer biology and the sample wise. Okay, so even gut microbiota also we do. So definitely we can coordinate with these subjects very specifically. One is biomedical science and cancer biology in time of transcriptomics, proteomics, and end of the day drug discovery, because that the question I has that time, because you have shown that is AR negative positive population, any positive. So same kind of the work also do like in the breast cancer, HER1, HER2 positive population. So we can collaborate in the sense in the big funding application for that. And anyway, I already mentioned that during my UTS visit, I can happy to come in the MONASH. So we can talk more and more about the research collaboration. And Gurinder sir already told that is we have to restart this conference. So sir, your guidance, that is way you will guide me. And this is the things. Anyway, you have seen our lab. That is a very good quality modular labs. So we do quality research and PhD program, and we were happy to send the master's students for the PhD program in the this Melbourne area and Monash. Definitely, that's my promise. Thank you.
Professor Biswas is one of our very distinguished scientists, and he's visiting Australia to visit Monash. But let me introduce you with one of the very important person. First of all, very warm welcome, Dr. Bhuvana Kaman. She is.
Good afternoon, sir.
She is your student. Oh. Yeah, so she did her PhD at Monash and she did her postdoc at Monash. And the founder of this university, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, has got a passion to identify some of the brightest people. So she was identified as one of the brightest fellows who has joined MIT family. So you already have a presence of Monash now at MIT. But we will request you, if you can very briefly, you can talk about your interest and how you can strengthen this partnership.
Yeah, so I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Bhuvana Shanbag, and I did receive my doctorate in Monash University. I did my PhD in chemical and biomolecular engineering department. So, but I do have very fond memories of doing my transmission electron microscopy in Building 75. That's I know that belongs to the biomedicine side. So that's how I have integrated with. Yes, I think I have met Peter Borg that time, sometime in the electron microscopy rooms. But yeah, very briefly though. So yeah, and then I did my postdoc as well in Monash University for 2 years, again in the Department of Chemical and Biological Engineering, which is the new name. So my research, I am a biotechnologist by training, and I am still also currently involved with Monash through the Australia-India Critical Mineral Research Program. So which I think Monash has a critical mineral consortium in which Monash is actually already interacting with several Indian universities, and Amity University is one along with that on the engineering side. But also to look at, because I know you're coming from the biomedicine side, here also I am currently placed in the Amity Bangalore campus. So we have several campuses. So I'm in the Bangalore campus. So we do have BTech biotechnology programs here. We have BSc biotechnology and MSc biotechnology programs here as well. From more from the science aspect, I work actually on metal binding proteins mainly. So, and we do have a lot of faculty here who have experience in antimicrobial resistance. I do proteomics related research as well, both on the environmental side and in environmental monitoring side. So happy to extend collaborations towards the science, and we can see where engineering and science can meet. So open to any sort of collaboration. So.
Thank you, Dr. Kamath. I think I was telling both the colleagues that we already have Monash now at the campus. Yeah. But feel so proud on you. Yeah, keep on doing the good work.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
I'll just summarize that what we have discussed today. Request number one, that all of you are requested if you can send us your written proposals, that what you want to do in your respective areas to us, so that we can create a summary and can send to you, and then you can take back and you can speak to all concerned, and please convey our regards to your Vice Chancellor and President, who's a very good friend. And let's start focusing on few areas which are already under discussion. So I think one of the areas which both of you have pointed out, and now Dr. Pooja, you are strengthening. We started this discussion of articulation of 2+2, which is, I think, almost on the finalization stage. So we should quickly finalize this. And I know that large number of students are truly interested in going to Monash in that area. Also, we have seen that you have got a very, very strong presence in your PhD programs. So 350 PhD students only in the area of biotechnology. And I think that we are also very, very strong in this area. So I think that the low hanging fruit for which I would request our office and our warriors were some of the brightest brains we have been able to get, that we will follow up. We will send you the areas of interest on which we can start work, which will strengthen our research, which will strengthen the citations, and which will further strengthen the research on both the sides. Also, I think that we have looked at the grants which earlier were coming. So New Colombo grant, under which your 300 students visited. I would request again that maybe that our office and then the warriors, we will write a application, Dr. Deka, and then we will again send it to you. You can then discuss. But I have been given to understand that this November, this grant will again be open. So we would love to have our Australian students on the campus. Under the new education policy, there are a number of universities which are establishing their campuses in India. So we had a very fruitful discussion with Monash, and I think both MIT and Monash, we were not in a rush to create a campus, but we thought that we will create a strong bond, which is as strong as a university. And that is the reason that with Monash, we are having arrangements in 5 major areas, which includes engineering, where large number of students have already gone to you. Management, where again, large number of students have gone to you. Then we have got psychology, where number of students have gone, and some of them they are employed. And biotechnology, where the students are interested, and then journalism and fashion, which we are exploring further. So I think that maybe yet you can take back a message from our side and from our founders' side that we would like to further explore. That if Monash wants to have a presence in India, then MIT would be very happy to help you to further ensure that you have better facilities and we are able to do something together. Also, I think that IIT Mumbai question was raised. So we are doing similar program at MIT, but I think that we need to restructure it. So once we do, and we can start from biotechnology, but I'm sure that other domains are equally interested. But we can immediately we can work on that. We'll send you a few areas of interest. And I think in Mumbai, 1 year the students are doing in Monash. And basically, that's a practical research. Otherwise, all the theoretical research is being done at the IIT Mumbai. So we are already doing it in the areas in the management. I think 2 of our faculty went, 1 in engineering, but we need to structure it. So maybe that we can structure it. Also, I have been reminded that we have got number of grants which are coming next month and then in November, out of which are known as Maitri grants. Maitri means dosti, right? And we are already friends. We are doing great work. So one is from the Center for Australia-India Relation, where we have got fellowship grants, we have got scholarship grants. So we will advertise it. But all those who are present in the area of biotechnology, we can immediately we can launch. Also, we have got Australia-India Strategic Research Fund, which is through DST. So I think that we will follow up. We will send you the details, but then jointly with Monash and MIT, we can write the applications together, and then we can further strengthen it. For the study abroad program, which we have been doing, we want to restart with Monash. I think that hundreds of students from MIT, they have gone there. So this is again a low-hanging fruit. We would love to send students. I know that Dr. Biswas, you are there in November.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every year earlier, we used to do a research conference. And I know that our science warriors, Hajenderji, you were saying that you would love to organize one. But we will take the interest of everyone. We have done 3 with Monash. We have done in the area of management, AI. We have done in psychology. We have touched biotechnology, but interdisciplinary, where the focus was on AI. Similarly, environment and cancer. in which you are very doing. We are already in touch with the UP government, but we will send you the details so that you can be a part of all these initiatives. But once again, we are really very happy to see you. Please convey our regards to your president, and our founder president, who is also watching you live, is sending his best wishes to you. And he has got special affection for Monash. He was talking to me before this meeting, and he was saying that to give special affection to Monash because this was the first Australian university which showed interest that they want to establish something in India. And if there will be a strongest campus or a university of Australia in India, that would be Monash and MIT. But over to you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And first of all, thanks for making the Monash team so well supported by everyone's presence here to talk about how we can go forward. There are so many opportunities, low-hanging fruit are good things to start, but I think there's lots of scope to grow it into really significant outcomes going forward to support research, but also undergraduate level and master's level going forward. I think the idea of getting the cross disciplines talking is a really important thing because, as we've said, science is hard now, so we need multidisciplinary teams coming together, leaning on each other's skills to really make significant steps forward. And I think this room is full of people that can do that, and I know Monash should be really excited to establish relationships, build personal relationships, which I think is really fundamental of building collaborations, is actually getting to know people, getting to know how they work. So ways that we can develop that kind of personal interactions is really important step forward. But yeah, I think this is not the beginning. We're already here, but we're taking steps down, kind of activating a little bit more. Let's use the momentum going forward to really build something forward. So thank you.
I'll finish by saying it's about relationships. So we're here in person to make relationships. Beyond that, we can use Zoom meetings and have virtual interactions. But that's why it's so nice to be here in person, because that's where those relationships genuinely start. So thank you so much for hosting us, and I'm looking forward to the next steps. Thank you.
Absolutely. We will send you the proposal with some time work. And Ms. Sharma, this is your campus. You should come here more often. Yeah. So I think that we'll make it a point that every 2 weeks you are here. And the good thing is that you are in Noida. Yeah. So Monash should be establishing now the university in Noida. Okay. And all the best. Such a privilege to have all of you. May God bless each one of you. Thank you so very much. We have got some mementos which we like to offer to all of you. Thank you. Joint photograph of all of you. Join for the photograph. Please, we'll have a joint photograph.